Hello. So, in your opinion, what do you think colorism is?
When I think of colorism, I think of basically discriminating against someone for either having a darker skin tone or lighter skin tone or just a stereotype.
So, who do you think is more affected by colorism?
I think I'd say probably darker skin tones just because that goes across cultures. Like even in India with like the caste system, it's like people associate a darker skin tone with maybe like lower class sometimes. This is just talking about history, but and also in the United States it's just been like it's a wealth thing, which is, obviously not true.
hmm
But
So, how do you think rap and hip hop are affecting colorism, or do you think like they're perpetuating it or like helping to solve it?
I think it depends on the rapper. Like some rappers talk about red bones and yellow bones, but it's like that's fine if you have a preference. Like you can like what you like as long as you're not putting anyone else down. I think. So yeah.
All right. So, do you think that there's a way that we can combat colorism, or do you feel like it's just here for good?
I think there's hope. It's just gonna come down to not letting history repeat itself and kind of getting rid of those stereotypes that people associate with a certain skin tone. Even if it's a positive stereotype, I don't think like a positive stereotype is a good thing because even people who don't meet those stereotypes are going to feel a certain way. So just stereotypes are harmful, and I think if we get away from that, we can combat colorism.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. In your opinion, what do you think colorism is?
I think colorism is basically the social construct on which skin tone is better to like the majority of people now. Like they always talk about darker skin tones or lighter skin tones or in between or whatever, and they like to like make an assumption about certain girls based off of that.
So then, who do you think is more affected by colorism?
I feel like darker skin tone girls are pretty much people always seem to have something to say about darker skin tones for some reason.
So is it like negative or positively affected?
Negative, but especially in the past, but as time has went on, darker skin tone girls are getting more of the praise that they should be getting.
All right. So we're familiar with rap and hip hop. How do you think rap and hip hop work to perpetuate colorism?
Well, a lot of songs always talk about if it's not whiter skin tone, they always like praise those or like make them seem like they have more of an advantage. But previously I have been hearing more songs that actually, support darker skin tone girls, brown skin tone girls, and it's basically promoting their beauty. So
Yes. So all in all, how do you think we can actually combat colorism, or do you think it's just gonna be here forever?
I mean, everyone's still gonna have their opinion, but with more support, especially with this new generation and technology, social media, we can always overturn it. So, yeah,
All right. Thank you.
no problem.
All right. So in your opinion, what is colorism?
When it comes to thinking about colorism, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that people of lighter skin tones or people of darker skin tones are treated differently. And so in the sense of that people that are darker are usually treated worse because people think that lighter skin tones can be more attractive, and then in some cases it can actually be flipped. But since I am Middle Eastern, I'm going to speak from my perspective. Like in my area, people think the lighter you are, the more white you are, and the more white you are, the more beautiful you're considered. And so personally, I am one of the darker, complected children of that my parents had. And so actually one of my mom's friends came over once, and we were just sitting in the living room, and then I guess I had been outside too much or something. But she looked at me and she was like, "Wow, Maj, you're really dark today. You look like you could be black." I was like, "Wow, thank you." Like, I didn't know how to react because that was my first instance where somebody's coming at me just because of this color of my skin. And it was like considerably supposed to be a family friend. And so it was very hard to, grasp the idea because I was younger. And so as time passed and stuff, I started to realize that because I am darker complected and my hair is very curly, and like my siblings, not all of them have curly hair like I do, and because my hair is curly, I can come off as mixed race, when in reality I'm just Palestinian, and so that kind of can add to the colorism effect.
Okay, so also, who do you think colorism mostly affects in communities?
I think it affects mostly black communities, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it affects all communities in different ways, but the ones that you see it the most are black communities, just because of the fact that they have the most visibly mixed race children. Because if somebody that is black has a child with someone who isn't, who's Middle Eastern or who's white or who's Hispanic of some sort, their children aren't necessarily gonna look like what a regular black child is supposed to look like in the eye of society. They're gonna be lighter complected because there is that, you know, mix of skin tones, and then their hair is going to be a different texture that some people might not be used to. And so because of that, the people who are mixed usually come off lighter skin tone, and with that are seen as better in black communities, and that can sometimes hurt the darker complected females in society just because they feel like they're not as wanted as the lighter skinned girls.
Okay. So do you think that like colorism can be actually combated, or do you think that social structure is like here to stay?
It can be. Anything can be changed. I like to believe that. I like to believe that, you know, everything is constantly changing and that nothing is set in stone. But the reality is that we live in now. Colorism is gonna be a constant worry for people of color, and specifically black women, for the next at least decade or so, just because of the fact that it's so prominent now. It's gonna take time to die off. And so because of that, I do feel like we can, like little things, we can make sure to let people be aware that being darker and being, you know, whatever complexion you are is beautiful, and it doesn't matter, because, you know, they like to say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so as long as the darker complected women and the people who are affected by colorism see themselves as beautiful, I really feel like we can get rid of the stigma.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.